Okay, we are recording. So thank you everyone for joining this evening. We are here for the rezoning considerations for Charlotte Fire Department Firehouse number 11 replacement. This is the public meeting prior to as a part of the rezoning process for this property. I am Emily Blackwell-Shaw. I am a landscape architect with Stewart and the project manager on the design side and kind of leading the rezoning process on behalf of the city and the fire department. Boomerang Design, we have Rob Buckanovich with us today. He is the architect who will be working through the architectural design of the new firehouse, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes. We also have staff from City of Charlotte General Services. Jonathan Sossaman is here on behalf of that group, as well as we have Charlotte Fire Department represented by Fire Chief Johnson, as well as Chief Winkles, in case any questions come up that need to be directed to them. For the agenda this evening, we have a pretty short presentation, but do want to walk through things so you know what to expect. We'll have a welcome in just a moment. I'm going to go through the site overview, give you a little understanding of where this firehouse is, and then talk about what's proposed for the site. And then also Rob Buckanovich from Boomerang will talk about the future firehouse building. And then I'll wrap up by talking about the overall rezoning schedule, and then we'll have open forum to see if anyone needs to have any questions answered or want some more information about this process. So right now we will have welcome by Larkin Eggleston. He is the District 1 City Council member. So if you got the invitation from this meeting because you live near the firehouse, he is likely your current city councilman. Larkin, would you like to say a few words?
Sure, and I'll be brief. Thank you for the invitation. Glad to be here. Obviously, this is an investment that is much needed in a corridor that is seeing lots of new investment, and that can be a good thing. We also realize the challenges that come with some of the gentrification we're seeing in that area, but we know that there are strong communities in the North End and want to make sure that they are looked after and taken care of, and we want to make sure that the folks who are looking after and taking care of them in our Charlotte Fire Department have the facilities and the resources and the tools that they need to do the best job that they can for those communities in the North End. And so I'm excited to see us replacing what is an outdated and antiquated facility with something modern and new and meets the needs of the community and meets the needs of our fire department. And so very eager to see this come to fruition, and looking forward to getting more information about it tonight. So thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us, Larkin. So if you're not familiar with exactly where this firehouse is, it is located on West 28th Street. You can see kind of the 277 loop here, the railroad corridors, North Graham Street, and then this star represents where the firehouse is in this image. We're kind of zoomed in here on the right, and you can see the West 28th Street, Graham Street right here. So very close to that intersection. There are currently 2 buildings on the site, the existing firehouse and then a secondary building that is currently being used for storage of additional supplies, some antique fire equipment, and other things. So that move to the next one. So you can kind of see the red building is the existing firehouse that will be removed as a part of this project. And then the green building is that storage building that is going to remain. Like Councilman Eggleston said, this building is no longer serving the needs of the firehouse at this location, but they do want to keep it on this 28th Street location rather than moving it to a new site. So that is the current plan, and we'll show you those in just a second. One of the things to note, the reason we're going through a rezoning is that with the new building, it will be slightly larger than the current building, and it starts to, there's thresholds when you're building within a residential zoning, which this currently is, where a government building cannot exceed 12,500 square feet. And that this new building will exceed that square footage and is putting us into out of compliance of the current zoning. So we are going to be so that's the prompting for the rezoning here. So this is the plan for the new fire station. You can see the building on the right is the existing building to remain. The new one is very similar shaped to the existing one, with the truck bays on the right side and the living quarters, office space, all those kitchen, all those other uses that are part of a firehouse on the left. This image here does show you that fire trucks would come in off of Bancroft Street, would pull in the back of the firehouse and then be able to pull out the front. So that there will be additional parking in the back, as well as dumpster and other kind of service uses. We are planning on screening from the adjacent single family homes. So I do want to note that that is specifically stated in our rezoning documents. And these trees here are planning to remain. If they, for whatever reason, during development, they cannot remain, they will be replaced. There will also be additional street plantings. There's a sidewalk that is, so there are streetscape improvements that will be a part of this project. And just to note, the new zoning is neighborhood services. The current zoning is R3 residential. Neighborhood services is kind of a mixed use zone that is predominantly used for these types of service facilities. And it is a conditional rezoning, which is why we're having this meeting this evening. At this point, Rob, if you want to step in and talk a little bit more about the building.
Sure. Thanks, Emily. Yeah, I'm Rob Buckinavage with Boomerang Design. I've been working on this conceptual plans for the fire station for several months with the city and Charlotte Fire. These are very early conceptual plans. So the goal of our exercise right now is to finalize the program of spaces and where they are located in the building. As Emily stated, this will be a 2-story building. The first floor will have the four bays, which will be very different from the existing fire station, which only has two bays or 3 bays, forget. But they are very narrow bays. The existing station, these bays will allow for all of their storage of their apparatus that need to be in there, along with their rescue equipment. To the left of the plan of the apparatus bay will be the entrance and circulation, vertical circulation. And a lot of the storage for their equipment in terms of their gear, as well as some of the mechanical and electrical and rooms that will support the building. The exercise room will be in the back of the building so that it is on the ground floor with access to the rear yard of the building. We'll go to the next slide. The second floor will be directly above, obviously. Circulation coming up on the front stair. Kind of organize the building with the day spaces in terms of the day room, kitchen, dining will be in the front, along with some of their office spaces. Kind of the grayed area in the middle of the plan will be their restroom, lockers and shower areas. And then the blue colored spaces would be the nighttime bunk area and bedroom spaces. So this is Firehouse 11 is a rescue station, which sets them apart from other stations around the county or the city. They have an additional crew that's there. So they have a number of additional requirements with this station that are above and beyond other standard stations in the city. I think that's about it.
Thank you, Rob. That is the bulk of what we know so far about how the site will develop. We are, like Rob said, we're in very preliminary stages. After this rezoning, the project will move into detailed design, and all those items will get fleshed out, and more of the site will be developed, more of the building will be developed, and head toward construction documents, permitting, and all of those things. But right now we are focusing on the rezoning. And so you have the virtual public meeting, which we're here doing tonight. In a couple of weeks, we will be having a public hearing at the Charlotte City Council meeting. So if you're not familiar with the rezoning process, we have this public meeting that we're having tonight that invites the local property owners to hear about the project. Once we've had that, and we'll submit a report of this meeting to the rezoning website, basically, that goes to the city council for review. And then on Monday, August 15th, the public hearing at the council meeting will be a place where if you have anything you would like to address the city council regarding this project, you can sign up to speak that evening. That's your main, besides tonight, that's your main opportunity to voice any thoughts about the project. After that, we will be meeting with the zoning committee on August 30th to hear their review of the project and any concerns. If anything comes out of those two meetings or out of tonight's meeting that affect what we've submitted and what's being planned, that will be incorporated into an updated site plan, which will be resubmitted before September 19th. So September 19th is when this project would go to the city council meeting for a rezoning decision, where they will actually vote whether this rezoning from residential 3 to neighborhood services would be approved. So that's kind of the breakdown of how this process works. Feel free to ask any questions about that, because we are now at the open forum. I do want to state that if you, this project is going to go to the Arts and Science Council for some additional involvement as it moves forward. So if you have any interest in being involved from that perspective, please contact Jonathan Zossaman. His contact information is on the screen. Or if you have any follow-up questions after tonight, you can also contact him. So at this point, we will open up the forum, and we can even allow anybody on here to speak. And if anybody has any questions, you are able, and all of the attendees are now able to speak if you want to just talk in general, or if there's any other panelists that want to share any additional information.
Can you discuss the screenings that are around the properties that are to the side and behind a little, please?
Yes, we have not gotten to, like I said, detailed design, but adjacent to the single family properties, which are these two to the north, we will be doing vegetative screening. So there will be evergreen plantings there. We have not gotten to that level of design, but we have agreed to install those as a part of the rezoning. I think we would probably have done that anyway, just to be a good neighbor. And this gray box does show the potential build out of the site, of basically the extent of anything that could be built on. It does not necessarily mean that all of that property will be built or paved. There will be additional plantings on the site for parking lot coverage, street trees, and the like.
It
That
looks
answer your
like
question.
It does, thank you. It also looks like in the drawing that these, this, everything, of course, is staying within the current boundaries of all the parcel IDs. Does that look the same, or is that additional?
Yes. No, no, the parcel is not changing.
Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
Any other questions or any panelists want to share any thoughts? All right. Well, that being said, we will close out the meeting. We are going to be saving this, recording, and the website that was on the flyer you were sent will have the location. That same website will be where that video is able to be viewed. Right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.